Welcome back to Live Impact News. It is 11:23 on this Thursday morning, and we are going to head out to York County now, where our reporter Derek Lytle is reporting on this situation we've been following all morning. So, of course, we had a shooting in Norfolk last night. We then had a shelter in place in Seaford this morning, and we're learning more about how these incidents are connected. So, Derek, you spoke to the York-Poquoson sheriff. Just break down the nuts and bolts of these two incidents and then tell us what he told you this morning.
Yeah, hey Marta, I just sat down with the sheriff over in York-Poquoson over at his office, and he calls the shooting a brazen one that was done in a very public area over in Norfolk off Colley Avenue. Now, we are learning that it has now turned into a homicide investigation. A 31-year-old by the name of Tony Camarillo was pronounced deceased from this shooting. Now, how does this all play out here on Seaford Road over in York County? Well, Norfolk PD made the announcement and let the sheriff's office know here locally. Last night, the shooting happened just around 8. They let them know about 11 o'clock at night, hey, this is the vehicle we were looking for in your local area. And the man they're looking for, 30-year-old Skylar Brock, has known ties to this area. It's believed he's been staying at a residence here off Seaford Road, and that's the residence that the sheriff's office decided to locate and pinpoint. Now, a deputy made contact with the vehicle tied to the shooting around 11 o'clock last evening right here on Seaford Road. That's when everything kind of got in action. Now, the lockdown situation this morning was because the sheriff's office, in help with Newport News as well as Norfolk, came out here with their detectives. Were serving that search and looking for Skylar Brock. They searched thoroughly, I'm told by the sheriff, through the residence, through the car. They have yet to locate this man. Now, they ended that shelter in place for this location here. It was a very active scene throughout the morning. It's a mile or two from the local elementary school here, so they were taking extra precaution, but that man has yet to be found. I'm told by the sheriff they are doing everything they can here in town today to make sure they bring and make an arrest on 30-year-old Skylar Brock that's alleged to be connected to this shooting. He says that everyone out here in this community, they should expect him to be armed and dangerous still, and do not try to, if you come across him, do not try to interact with him. Rather, call the sheriff's office. They say he could be armed and dangerous. They don't want you trying to do anything on your own. But he said they're going to make it a point. Now that this is a homicide investigation, they want to bring this man to justice. And he says if this happens again, they're going to put out an alert and make sure they have another shelter in place if they do come across him. But again, they know that he was tied to this residence here for about a few months. They say that he was known here. I'm not sure. The sheriff wouldn't comment. He didn't know his connection to Norfolk or the exact incident last night, saying that was more of a Norfolk PD involvement. But they did actively search, I'm told, the nooks and crannies of the home, the underspace, crawl space, you name it, and they have not found that man wanted in this shooting. A lot to break down as we continue to follow through the afternoon, but that's what I got at this moment, guys.
So I do want to clarify, and you mentioned this. When we had first seen this police presence this morning, it sort of seemed like there was maybe a barricade situation or they had made contact with the suspect. But now we're learning the suspect is still on the run. They never found him. They never made contact with him. It sounds like they were just serving a warrant, correct?
Yeah, the sheriff didn't say that they made any type of contact with the individual wanted. They just know that this was the residence that he's been tied to be staying at. Also, they did, I believe, seize the vehicle. They said this is the vehicle that they seized connected to the shooting that he may have been driving. It was Norfolk that alerted them that that car could be in this area late last night when they found it about 11 o'clock.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like the road is back open and the neighborhood's back open. Have you seen any sort of police presence there since they lifted that shelter in place?
Yeah, you got a couple unmarked cars down some side streets, but that's about it right now. The sheriff did hint that they are actively looking at everything throughout their community, so, he didn't want to get too in the weeds of it, obviously, with that man still at large, but definitely an active investigation still here in York.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Derek, for your time and for the updates on this case. We're going to hear your full interview with the sheriff coming up in just a few minutes. So stick with us. You'll want to hear the latest on this case. But again, Derek, thank you for your reporting. We appreciate it.